Correction of Black Caucus, joined by civil rights leaders as well as folks from the National Panhellenic Council, held a news conference on the Capitol Hill talking about how devastating Trump's policies are on African Americans. Here is House Democrat leader Hakeem Jeffries.
Donald Trump once asked Black America the question, what the hell do you have to lose? The answer is everything under his administration. We know that under the Trump administration, civil rights is under attack, voting rights is under attack, reproductive rights under attack, racial justice under attack, social justice under attack, economic justice under attack, Black entrepreneurship under attack. What the hell does Black America have to lose under Donald Trump? The answer clearly is everything. Black America is under attack. The United States of America has been under attack by the failed policies of a failed president. And sycophants in the Republican Party who continue to act like nothing more than a reckless rubber stamp for Donald Trump's extreme agenda. Under the Trump administration, the Black unemployment rate is up, the Black homeownership rate is down, and health care is being ripped away from millions of Americans, disproportionately impacting Black and brown communities and lower income white communities throughout the nation. But we're here as members of the Congressional Black Caucus, civil rights leadership, faith leaders, leaders of the Divine Nine organizations, standing together to make clear that we're not going to step back, we're here to fight back. Right. And to make sure we protect the interests of Black America and all of the United States of America.
Yeah.
And as John Lewis would often encourage us to do, we will continue to show up. We will continue to stand up. We will continue to speak up. We'll summon that character, that courage, that conviction of those upon whose shoulders in this Black History Month we proudly stand upon. And together we're going to end this national nightmare and continue this country's march toward a more perfect union.
All right. I'll start with you, Andrew. Listen, I understand having this news conference on Capitol Hill. I totally get that. But I'm going to tell you right now, and I've said this all over the country. Matter of fact, today, the Bow Collective, we're having their 5th annual conference. This is a group of Black female entrepreneurs and collectively more than 300 members doing business upwards collectively in excess of $2 billion. And the things that they are working on is exactly what should be happening. But I'm going to keep saying this here. What should be happening is having national Panhellenic leaders in Washington, D.C. for a news conference. That's great. Civil rights leaders, that's great. But what should be happening all across this country, there should be nothing but conversations, nothing but town halls and discussions talking about these things. Every single Panhellenic organization should have a public policy program, a major public policy program at their state conventions, at their regional conventions, at their national conventions. The Boule, Sigma Pi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, the Boule should be doing the exact same thing at their national conventions. That's what should be happening. When you talk about the chapters of the D9, we talk about the chapters of Prince Hall Mason and Eastern Star and Links. They should be leading discussions in Black communities all across this country, what's happening on Capitol Hill. The reality is most folk didn't even see that news conference. They're not going to hear about that news conference. We live streamed it on the Black Star Network, but the organizations need to be driving these discussions locally.
I agree, Roland. And, I listened to that speech and I know your base is gonna come for me for this, but I just heard a lot of performance. I didn't hear a lot of substance. It seems like the Democratic Party, including the Black Caucus, does not really have much of a plan going forward. And it's going to be harmful in the midterm elections when there are not set policies that the Democratic Party is supporting in order for us to move forward with certain candidates across the United States that are coming up in this midterm election. So I absolutely agree with you that, yes, it's great that they had all of these, very important figureheads together for a press conference that no one will probably see. But what is the plan of action? What is the roadmap that the Democrats are going to follow in this 2026 midterm election?
Well, here's the deal. I mean, absolutely, that's the case in terms of what you say you're going to do if you get the power. But Eugene, what I'm talking about is, and I'm always saying this, there has to be what I call this education, this enlightenment, this informing stage. And so this is February. And so what I'm saying is these things should be happening all over. Next week in Bryan College Station, Texas, Alphas are having their state convention. My chapter, Power Macron, and our graduate chapter, they're the host for the state convention. Okay, you're going to have more than 1,000 brothers there. March 26th, I'm speaking at the Alpha Regional Convention, the Eastern Regional Convention in Raleigh, North Carolina. It's probably going to be 2,000-3,000 there. When you start adding up all these various events, but even outside of our conferences, what I am suggesting is that, and people should be sending us, there should be every single week in Georgia, in North Carolina, in Texas, these discussions that are being held. City council members should be holding them. School board leaders should be holding them. County commissioners should be holding them, because a lot of people really don't understand what's going on. And so you've got to be building the resonance to get people to understand and walk them through, connect the dots to explain how their vote is going to impact public policy. And again, I appreciate today's news conference. That should be the kickoff of a national tour. And again, it's not even have to go city to city. The groups are already in location. We don't have to put together a bus tour. They're already there. They just have to do it.
Look, I agree with you. The thing is this, right? The strengths of our legacy organizations, whether it be civil rights, religious, fraternal, whatever, right, is their organizational strength and the fact that they already have organizational structure in place. So at that point, it's literally just a matter of activating and engaging and executing. I talk about it, every big night that we have, that the reason we are in the predicament we're in now is because conservatives literally took the model that Black folk perfected over the last 50, 60, 70 years and applied it for themselves and are still applying it for themselves. In 2010, it was the Tea Party Patriots and organizations like that. And 2022, 2024, it was the Moms for Liberty. But it literally came down to it's building organization, which we already have, through religious organizations, through fraternal organizations, through civic organizations, through our legacy civil rights organizations, right? But it's the educating, engaging, and then executing. It's the coming in, educating on policy, educating on what's going on. It's then laying out the game plan. It's then executing so you can operate up and down the ballot and get your people elected up and down the ballot. Because while the Senate elections and the gubernatorial elections and the congressional elections get a lot of the attention, there's going to be a lot of these school board elections, a lot of these DA elections, a lot of the mayoral elections. They're going to have a lot of direct effect on people's lives.
Absolutely. And I just, Cody, I'm just not interested. I'm just not interested in just the same old same. I'm talking about getting our folk to understand we have all of this capacity, this infrastructure, but it's not being properly organized and mobilized.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree with everything that you were saying about challenging the things that our D9 organizations have historically done. And not historically have done, but are doing today. And not necessarily carrying out the legacy of their organizations and the things that have been done in the past and not continuing that. As a member of a D9 sorority, I'm a part of my chapter social justice committee because I am passionate about making sure that our community is civically engaged and civically informed to going on, the issues that are going to affect them directly. But I would be lying if I said that I felt like we were doing all of the necessary work that is needed in our communities to make sure that is happening. And so what I do personally is I go onto my TikTok primarily to talk about these things, to try to keep people informed, because it's going to reach just outside of my local community. Hopefully it's reaching people across the state and also on a national level. And Roland, let me just say, I hope that you'll come to Birmingham for our regional conference. But I agree with what you're saying as well in terms of just the same old, same old. I think that there are a lot of people who are outside of these legacy organizations who are doing the work. And what we should be doing is finding those individuals and empowering them to continue to do that work, whether it be financial support or helping them with additional resources so that they continue to get the message out, whether it's them traveling across the state as we approach these midterm elections, whatever that may be. I think that there is a way in which the people who are really paying attention and have an understanding as to what's going on, we can empower those individuals who are maybe doing the work individually or with other organizations that they are working with on their own.